Have you ever walked through a forest and felt somehow that the trees were aware of you? Not in a fantasy sense, but in a quiet, living way, as if they were listening, remembering your presence, exchanging whispers in a language older than human speech. Welcome to another episode of Night Lamp Curiosity. I'm Professor Photon, and tonight we'll explore that secret world, the hidden intelligence of plants. By the time you reach the end of this episode, you might never look at a tree, a leaf, or even a house plant the same way again. So stay with me until the end, because what you'll hear about the way plants communicate, learn, and perhaps even feel may completely reshape your idea of what life really means. For centuries, plants were thought of as passive, simple organisms without brains, without nerves, without real awareness. They were seen as decorations in the theatre of life, not participants. But modern science is beginning to whisper a different story. When we look closer, beneath the bark, beneath the soil, into the molecular and quantum layers of their being, we find something astonishing. Plants sense. They respond. They remember, and perhaps, in their own way, they know. Back in the 1960s, a man named Cleve Backster, a former CIA polygraph expert, made an accidental discovery that shook him to the core. He connected a lie detector to a leaf of a Dracaena plant in his office, just as an experiment. He wondered if the plant might react to something stressful, like having one of its leaves burned. But before he even reached for the match, the needle on the polygraph suddenly spiked, as if the plant had anticipated what he was about to do. He was stunned. No one could explain it. Could plants perceive intention? Was there an invisible network of energy, perhaps quantum in nature, that linked living things in ways our instruments barely comprehend? Now, scientists have revisited Backster's claims with modern technology. And while the polygraph readings remain controversial, newer experiments are confirming something far more profound. Plants are not passive. They are active processors of information. Beneath every forest floor lies a vast communication network, a biological internet made of roots and fungi, known as the mycorrhizal network. The brilliant ecologist Suzanne Simard from the University of British Columbia discovered that trees don't just compete, they cooperate. They exchange sugars, nutrients, and even chemical signals through fungal threads that connect them all underground. A dying tree, for example, will often send its remaining resources through the network to its neighbouring saplings, almost like a farewell gift. Mother trees, older, taller giants, nurture their offspring through this web, recognizing which seedlings are their own genetic kin. In one experiment, Simard traced carbon isotopes from one tree's leaves into the roots of another, several meters away. Within hours, the second tree was enriched with the first's carbon. Proof of direct communication. This isn't a metaphor. It's biochemical empathy. So when you walk through a forest, you're not among isolated organisms. You're inside an enormous superorganism, a community sharing information, memory, and perhaps even emotion. Stay with me until the end, because what we're about to uncover next, how trees hear, smell, and respond to sound, will sound like science fiction, but it's not. Plants have no eyes, no ears, and yet they perceive the world in ways that rival our own. Dr. Monica Galliano, a pioneer of plant neurobiology, conducted one of the most mind-bending experiments in modern botany. She played the sound of running water to a group of pea plants. Even when no water was physically present, the roots began to grow in the direction of the sound. They heard it. In another experiment, plants learned to associate a neutral sound like a fan with light exposure. Over time, they began to grow toward the sound alone, anticipating the light before it appeared. That's classical conditioning, the same principle used by Pavlov when he trained dogs to salivate at the sound of a bell. But these were plants, no brain, no neurons, yet, unmistakably, learning. And that's not all. When a caterpillar chews a leaf, the plant hears the specific vibrations of its predator's bite and releases chemical defenses tuned to that exact sound. Other plants nearby detect the airborne warning signals and begin preparing their own defenses long before the caterpillar reaches them. It's a quiet alarm system operating in frequencies we can't hear. A green whisper passing from leaf to leaf. And then there's light. Plants don't just respond to it, they read it. Every colour of light carries information, and plants use it like a cosmic code. Blue light tells them it's time to grow upward. Red light tells them the day is ending. And when they sense far red light reflected off the leaves of competitors, they adjust their angle to catch the sun more efficiently. Inside each plant cell are molecules called photoreceptors that act like microscopic eyes. They can detect not only intensity but also the direction and quality of light, shaping growth like a sculptor working with energy itself. But there's more. Recent studies in quantum biology have revealed that during photosynthesis, plants may use quantum coherence, a state where particles act as a single wave, to transfer energy with almost perfect efficiency. In other words, inside a leaf, photons of sunlight don't just bounce around randomly. They seem to know the quickest path through the maze of molecules, as if guided by intelligence built into the fabric of nature. The process lasts only femtoseconds, trillionths of a second. Yet in that instant, life converts light into matter. It's one of the most mysterious and elegant acts in the universe. And you're breathing the result. If you were to place electrodes into the stems and leaves of a plant, you'd find electrical pulses, tiny waves of voltage rippling through their tissues. These aren't random. They're patterns, signals that change when the plant is touched, heated, shaded, or wounded. Jagadish Chandra Bose, an Indian physicist from the early 1900s, demonstrated that plants transmit electrical impulses similar to animal nerve signals. He even measured how the speed of these impulses changed when plants were stimulated or injured. In his words, the life of plants is a mere reflection of the life of man. Later, scientists found that when one leaf is harmed, the electrical distress signal travels through the plant, alerting distant leaves to activate chemical defenses. It's as if the plant feels pain, not emotional suffering as we know it, but a physical awareness, an electrical recognition of damage. Now let's go even deeper into the invisible layer where physics and biology meet. Some researchers have proposed that biophotons, ultra-weak light particles emitted by all living cells, could be a form of communication. Plants emit them constantly, creating a soft glow invisible to our eyes but detectable with sensitive instruments. Could these photons carry information between cells, even between organisms? It's possible. Physicist Fritz Albert Popp, who studied biophotons for decades, found that plants and animals emit light at highly coherent frequencies, like laser light. This coherence could allow biological systems to store and transmit information, perhaps explaining how complex coordinated responses occur so quickly. In this light, quite literally, a forest isn't dark, it's luminous. Every tree glows faintly, every leaf whispering to the next in pulses of quantum light. You can't see it, but your body too emits this living radiance. We are part of the same photonic web. And now let's look at the philosophical side of this mystery. If plants sense, learn, communicate, and remember, what does that mean for our understanding of consciousness? Does awareness require a brain, or is it a property of life itself? The philosopher Alan Watts once said, "You didn't come into this world, you came out of it, like a wave from the ocean." If that's true, then perhaps a tree doesn't just exist in the world, it is the world expressing itself through wood and leaf. Ancient cultures knew this intuitively. The Druids called trees the standing people. In Hindu philosophy, the sacred fig, the Bodhi tree, was the seat of enlightenment. And in modern times, scientists like Suzanne Simard are proving that this old wisdom may hold literal truth. Forests behave like families. Maybe consciousness isn't an on-off switch. Maybe it's a spectrum flowing through all living things, from the humblest moss to the human mind. So next time you step into a garden or a forest, pause for a moment, breathe, feel the quiet pulse beneath your feet, the roots connecting, the signals travelling, the slow heartbeat of green life. You are walking through a mind that dreams in chlorophyll, a world that listens, remembers, and gives. Stay with that thought as you drift towards sleep tonight, because the trees outside your window aren't asleep. They're breathing with you, part of a vast luminous conversation that never truly ends. "The forest is not a collection of trees," wrote Simard. "It's a living, breathing network, ancient, patient, and wise. And maybe, just maybe, it's waiting for us to listen." Thank you for staying till the end, and good night.